What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I want to hop into Robert Saleh's press conference from today, as well as a really positive sign for the offensive line. We're going to get into both of those things today. The first thing here, which again is from Robert Saleh's press conference, is a little baffling. And I want to preface this by saying that Robert Saleh and his press conferences sometimes give you a real head scratcher. I think I've done a pretty good job of trying to be as fair as humanly possible to Robert Saleh. I understand that he doesn't have an easy job. He's the face. He's got to go up and answer all the questions. Joe Douglas doesn't have to answer questions multiple times a week. I've defended him, but at the same time, like, he says some pretty dumb things, unfortunately, at these press conferences. And I know we got to take his stuff with a grain of salt, but he was talking about the Jets' run defense from week one. And he went on to say that Robert Saleh said Michael Clemens was, quote, one of the better ones out there.
Does Clemens have to do a better job setting the edge in the run game?
We all do. I thought actually Clem was really good. He was one of the better ones. But as a collective whole, D-line, linebackers, safeties, corners, we all need to do a better job.
I mean, we all watched the game. I think Michael Clemens on Twitter was one of the most frequent names that I saw brought up, and I don't think anyone was happy with him. It seemed like the game plan for the 49ers was they were just going to run it on the right side of the offensive line and go directly at Clemens. And on multiple examples, he unfortunately didn't look good, and that's supposed to be his strength. He doesn't really give you much as a pass rusher. He's supposed to be a good run defending edge, and the plan, or the Jets' plan anyway, was to use Clemens as John Franklin Myers' replacement. And in week one, it didn't really work out. It didn't work out to be the case, unfortunately, for either Robert Saleh or Michael Clemens in this one. And just, again, a really bizarre answer. It just makes you question, like, is this guy watching the same game that we are? And I get it. Like, this is the guy who was talking, Chaz Surratt up last year, like he's going to the Hall of Fame. And now, Michael Clemens actually played well, even though we all had eyes and watched the game. And you saw the clips that I included in there. It wasn't very pretty, but that's not even like that's not where it ends for me, because he says one thing and then goes on to also talk about the pride on discipline in his defense.
It's not that I was bothered. It was a little surprising because we pride ourselves on discipline and doing our jobs, and I felt like we kind of got a little out of whack in that regard. Not going to get into specific details that we need to get fixed, but at the same time, I just know that we're capable of much more, and that it wasn't a physical thing. It was more just guys just trying to do a little bit too much.
The irony in that statement is so funny to me, because for not even talking about the after the play with Michael Clemens, he gets a little heated. We've seen that. Like, I'm not talking about that. In terms of discipline as a run defender, we've seen him over pursue, and he's like, his goal is to just fly around and take somebody's head off. And unfortunately, for his role, he has to be disciplined and do the dirty work and set the edge and do those not so fancy things that don't show up in the stat sheet. That's his job, and that's his role. It's something that John Franklin Myers did really well for the Jets. John Franklin Myers also did that and added 50 pressures on a season to the Jets defense. I think fans are starting to realize maybe the impact that he had on this Jets defense and what it looked like for Clemens. It's like, how could you say one thing, like, we're a defense that prides ourselves on discipline and we got to be more disciplined, but then on the quote before, you're talking up Michael Clemens, who's one of your most undisciplined players. It's the same thing that frustrated me with Quincy Williams early in his career. I thought he played very undisciplined, and thankfully for Quincy, he was able to work his way through that and get better. Quincy was a much younger player when he first came to the Jets. Michael Clemens is in his third year and 27 years old already. Like, this guy, he kind of is what he is, unfortunately, at this point. And it's just, it was wild. So had to share that one. Have you guys heard of NFL All Day? It's actually really cool. I've been using it to collect and own NFL highlights. Really interesting. It's free to sign up. You can do so by using my link. You get to collect some of the biggest plays in football, and now they've even added the top rookies from this year's draft. Here's what it looks like. You go in. I'm going to open up, show you guys my vintage hot route. I got 2 moments in here. Here's a look at what it looks like when you open it up. Shakes around. Let's go. Let's do it. I got 2 in here. So if you're an OG Jets fan, maybe you'll remember these. First one, Vinny Testaverde. Number 73 of 499. This is a touchdown pass against the New England Patriots. Love that. And then the second one that I have is from 2006. A touchdown pass from my guy, Lavernius Coles. This one's rare, too. So if you want to get in and get one of my packs, I will give it to you. Sign up using my link down below for NFL All Day. On the more positive side, good news. So the 33rd team, they ranked the best pass protection from offensive lines in week 1. And the Jets came in at number 2 on the list, only behind the Saints. So how did they do this? They kind of took a look at the pressure percentage that each offensive line allowed, as well as the sack percentage. Jets were 7th in pressure percentage and 3rd in sack percentage in the league, both top 10. And they finished number 2 in the NFL. And that passed the eye test to me. The offensive line, I thought, looked really good, caveat, in pass protection. They held their own. They did their job. Tyron Smith looked good. Nick Bosa was held once by Tyron. They had 1 sack and I believe 1 other pressure on Aaron Rodgers. But for most of the night on Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers was operating from a clean pocket. And when he did, I thought he played really well, which is a positive because usually in years gone by, well, the Jets have had terrible pass protection. The issue, though, now we'll get back to the negative, don't worry, is the run blocking was really, really bad. According to Next Gen Stats, they had Breece Hall at negative 10 rushing yards before contact. That's a really poor number. That means he was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage pretty much all night long. He didn't have a great day, and he would be the first one to tell you. I don't think Breece Hall was at his best in this game. He's bailed this team out so many times. We're going to give Breece Hall the benefit of the doubt. I feel the same way about Jermaine Johnson on defense. He did not have a very good game. Quinnen Williams didn't play well, but we've seen a lot out of those 3 guys. So I'm not going to beat up on them for who are 3 players who are very good for this team that, just didn't play well in that one. But the run blocking on the offensive line was not up to par. I thought particularly the right side of the line, Elijah Vera Tucker and Morgan Moses are normally very good run blockers. Maybe it's still getting up to speed after the injury. Maybe it's not just playing together enough yet, but they underwhelmed. I think they will eventually grow and get better at it. There's too much talent on this offensive line from a run blocking perspective for them not to get it right. 1, we saw it in training camp. Number 2, we know what Elijah Vera Tucker is. John Simpson, and if anything, I thought he would struggle in pass pro and be okay in the run game this year. We'll see if that maybe adjusts as the year goes on. Tittman projects to be a better run blocker. Tyron Smith does both, but is so good as a pass protector. So I was glad to see, the positive side, that the pass pro was up to par in week 1. Big test coming up in week 2 against the Tennessee Titans. We'll preview that game more tomorrow and get into more details upcoming, but just wanted to react to 1, Robert Saleh's comments on this New York Jets defense, and number 2, get into a positive, which is the Jets offensive line and pass pro. Let me know your thoughts on both down below in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.